Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Precious and this is Precious Touch TV. If you're just joining me, welcome. If you've been here before, thank you for stopping by again. So today I'm going to be discussing a topic that is very dear to me because it's something that affects me personally, and I believe it affects a lot of people as well, or it has affected you at one point in time or the other. What topic am I talking about? I'm talking about how to know the career that is best for you. So basically, I feel like a lot of people stumble on their career. A lot of people mature into their career. A lot of people grow into their career. Whatever it is that has worked for you, just watch this video to the end, hear my perspective, listen to my journey and how I've come about, and then I'm sure you can share one or two things in the comment section at the end of the video. Keep it locked here. So let's talk, guys. When it comes to career or one's means of livelihood, we find that there is no one size fits all. So I am basically going to tell you from the beginning of this video that what I am saying is not that this is the way that it should go, or this is the right way, for us to do these things. I'm just sharing my own experience, and I hope that it resonates with somebody out there. Basically, in choosing a career, it is dicey. So some people grow up knowing that they are going to be doctors, they are going to be lawyers. They come from a family of lawyers. They come from a very strong academic background. Some other people grow up and things are left to time and chance. Some call it luck. Some say, oh, you know what, that person is just blessed. Whatever it is, I believe that certain factors in our life play a very essential role in being an enabler for us, to achieve or attain whatever career it is that we have eventually attained. So in my journey, I found that getting to the point where I can say, oh, this career is what I want to focus on, or what is best for me, I had to go through a lot of ups and downs. I had to do a lot of trials and errors. I had to, test a lot of waters before I could say, what, this is what is meant for me. And I am still not limiting myself to one industry or one field. I'm just saying that I cannot now grasp, myself with regards to, okay, what I want to do with myself in life and all that and all that. So as I am now, I know that I cannot be a doctor anymore. Like, guys, I can't be a doctor. I can't even be a lawyer because I am not interested in being a lawyer. Do you understand? But I know the kind of things I am now interested in doing, and some of these things are not even in any way attached to what I read in school or things that I was exposed to, growing up. They just kind of found me, and at the same time I had an inclination to them and I found them as well. So I just hope you watch this video to the end so that you can hear my journey, and you can also share your own experiences and your own perspectives as well in the comment section. Let's keep watching. So for me, knowing what career is best for you, there are a lot of factors. Like I said earlier, one of the factors that can affect your career in the future is your academic background. So personally, I grew up believing I was a purely art student. What do I mean by this? So I wasn't very good in maths right from primary school up until secondary school. So I particularly used to dodge anything that required that I had to solve a lot of maths, So I was drawn to artsy subjects like government, CRK, literature, home economics, physical and health education, biology, economics. These were my strengths. And then when I was in junior secondary school, I liked science subjects. I liked introductory to technology, I liked integrated science, but I did not like agriculture as a theoretical subject. I didn't believe in the practicality of agriculture as something that should be studied theoretically. That's story for another day. But my point is, I found that I was a mixture of a lot of things. So I liked some science subjects, I liked some art subjects, I really avoided subjects that had to do with calculation. So mathematics, physics, further maths, you will not catch me there, But because of the kind of environment I grew up in, I was programmed to think and believe that, because I was not good in maths, I couldn't excel in other science, areas. So therefore, my next best option is to focus on being an art student, which I did and which I enjoy and which I love, But I just feel like if I was exposed to a lot of other things, or our system allowed for us to be able to mix and match a combination of many other subjects, then maybe I would have majored in, maybe arts and then minored in some science subjects. What do you think? As you find that in our academic curriculum here in Nigeria, when you get to senior secondary school, at least when I went to school in the 90s, in the late 90s, early 2000s, what was obtainable then was that you were either an art student, a commercial student, or a science student. And amongst we students, we used to think that, oh, science students were the brainiest, commercial students were the next brainiest, then art students were just students that didn't want to deal with any hard subjects, which was untrue, because there's no subject that is easy. There's no one that is not easy. It depends on what your focus is, what your passion is, and what you like. So basically, I was in art class and I did subjects like government, CRK, what have you, and it was so bad that even being an art student, you weren't really encouraged to do artsy subjects in senior secondary school, like fine art, physical and health education. So those subjects that interested me, introductory to technology, were not continued in my senior secondary school days anyway. One leaves secondary school and then decides to go to university. You are still limited with options with regards to what to study. The major ones were medicine, banking, engineering, law. Every other thing outside these 4 courses was just like, you guys are just trying by the side. And it left a lot of people confused, especially because our guidance and counseling units didn't really know how to come in with regards to advising students and all that. Before I digress too much and talk about the academic factors a lot, I would like to take 1 or 2 steps back to growing up. Now, growing up for me was a mixture of a lot of things. So I grew up in an environment where I saw people trading. People went out to trade. They went to sell goods and come back with money. That's how they made their livelihood. People go and give people services, go and sell products, and then they exchange it for money. And then we had people that were successful in this field, we had people that were unsuccessful in this field. Maybe some of them were not called to be traders, but my point is, it was not an uncommon sight for me. I was already exposed to people trading, exchanging value for money as a means of livelihood. So it was unusual. In my adult life now, I'm thinking, it was actually unusual for me not to find that there was anything in our school curriculum to encourage that, to show people that, aside from being a doctor and being an engineer and being a banker, you can actually exchange value, for money as a means of livelihood, entrepreneurship. Not until I think 3rd year in university did I do something on entrepreneurship, and it was just a 1 semester course, that you require to pass for you to graduate and all that. Is a good place to start, but I don't think it's enough to make the kind of mark that we need, for entrepreneurship to be valid in our society. So as a child, I remember that I sold empty sacks of rice to have small pocket money and change. I sold empty brandy and whiskey bottles to have some pocket money and change. And ever since I did those things as a child, I remember that I've always been interested in making money. How can I make money? How can I, give value and get money for it? Of course, growing up, I've done a lot of holiday jobs, ad hoc jobs, and things like that. I've even tried to venture into entertainment at one point in my life. Growing up, it's very good for you to explore a lot of things. But my point is, there wasn't a time I wanted to be a gymnast. One of my very good friends can attest to this. Like, in my head, I believed I was going to be at Sydney 2000 Olympics. Anyway, my point is, it was already me to give value, to get something, to give value, provide solution, be it product, be it service, as a means of livelihood, as a means of getting something, as an exchange for money. And when you now get into the bigger world, outside your family, outside the things that you are immediately exposed to, there's nothing that enables you to continue. Maybe now there is, but back then there wasn't much that you could do to ride on that wave that you already picked up from home. And it's not a good one, I must say, because it has slowed down a lot of processes, a lot of developments that could have happened in young people's life as they were maturing. The reality after I left university was, okay, yes, I'm an art student, I have read English and literature now, and I am now in the real world. How do I apply this? how do I bring this to the fore? How do I exchange this value for money? You know, and I found that I began to go back to my default setting, my default inclination, which is being creative, being artistic, you know, trying to give value in exchange for money. And that's how I began to develop my sales capability. And eventually, you know, now I am a sales manager. I understand what being a salesperson professionally is. But I didn't know that all the things that were around me, you know, as a young person, were teaching me how to be a better salesperson, how to be an entrepreneur, how to exchange value for money, how to be resourceful. Do you understand? But there's no job description that is labeled resourcefulness or, you know, value giver in exchange for money person. You know, you just have to be able to bring it to the fore. And for me, it was sales. So in my opinion, I feel like the sales function is the function that grooms entrepreneurs. So every sales manager in his or her own right is an entrepreneur, depending on the channel they are managing, depending on the territory they are covering, depending on the revenue they are managing, depending on the, you know, on the amount of responsibility that has been bestowed upon them by whatever company they work for or they are accountable to. And me, I feel like if I had been exposed to a lot more resources, you know, after I left home to secondary school, you know, to the university, and started mixing with other people, maybe I would have blossomed much more earlier in my career as a salesperson, or, you know, as somebody that brings value to the table, you know. And it now brings me to the reality of our society. I'm speaking from Nigeria, and I'm speaking for Nigeria. Like, this is my experience. My experience is that we have, you know, an academic system that boxes us and makes us feel like, you know, there's nothing you can do outside these boxes. And then the individuals are left to come out and discover themselves from the scratch by themselves alone, you know, after a lot of time has passed. It's just like this debate that we have nowadays about NYSC and whether they should scrap it, whether they should not scrap it. Even though I am of the opinion that it shouldn't be scrapped because it gives a lot of people their first, you know, opportunity at working, there is also the argument that it is a time waster, you know, and I wouldn't totally blame those that belong to that school of thought. So for me, knowing what career is best for me has been a phases thing. So I've grown from phase to phase to phase. At the point in time when I was leaving school, I was thinking to myself, oh, you know, how do I break into the media industry? As I read English and literature, the closest thing to being, you know, that an English and literature graduate could do was probably look for ways to attach themselves to journalism or media or communication some way. Maybe go and work in the telecommunication industry, or, you know, become a writer, become a poet, write books. Even if you don't have the flair for it, you need to squeeze out something from yourself, you know. And it is not easy, you know. At the same time, you feel like you are limited with, you know, options. And that's why you find out a lot of people that come out of school sometimes get into industries and lock themselves up there because they believe that that's the only place that they can maximize what they have spent time in school, you know. And I totally understand, but I want to say that in knowing the career that is best for you, as you develop, as you grow, you should embrace the opportunities that come your way. And even when opportunities don't come your way, learn to start creating opportunities for yourself. Somebody will ask, how will I create opportunity for myself? Well, for me personally, what happened was, after I left school, you know, I started working as an assistant for somebody. And then because I was naturally creative, I already had creativity inclined in me, I began to look for creative ways to express myself. At the point in time that I'm speaking of, it was makeup. So I said, oh, makeup artistry wouldn't be a bad, you know, idea. And I started learning makeup. I will categorically tell you guys now that even though I am a makeup artist, I've been a makeup artist, I never really went to a makeup school to go and learn makeup artistry. I learned by watching, by apprenticing, you know, by being in the environment where we had a lot of makeup artists. People spoke makeup, people did makeup, you know, and it was a business, and it was a very solid and valid, you know, means of livelihood. And I could identify with it at that particular point in time in my life, right? But along the line, I knew that, you know, I wanted something more. I wanted to experience more. I couldn't just limit myself to makeup and makeup artistry. I wanted to explore. I wanted to be able to exchange more value, for value as well. So I decided to start looking for opportunities, in bigger environments. And then what best way to get into organizations than to get in through a place where you communicate with people, customers, so you begin from talking to people in customer service, whether by phone, whether by email, and then eventually I became a sales personnel, like a full-fledged sales personnel. And it was when I became a sales personnel, a sales manager, I realized that there was a lot I needed to learn in the entrepreneurship chain. So as a budding entrepreneur and as somebody that has handled a lot of hustles on the side, as somebody that has a lot of parts in their story, so I am not like, oh, a straight A science student that came out and read medicine and is now a medical doctor. I'm like a bit of everything. I'm artsy, I like money, I like managing, I like sports, I want to be a gymnast. At the same time, I like to model, but I know that okay, modeling can't work anymore, so let me express myself creatively and be a makeup artist that does makeup for models and things. So basically, because I am a mixture of a lot of things, when I became a sales personnel and started meeting people on a daily basis, started understanding what channel marketing was, what trade visits was, what customer feedback was, what distribution was, visibility, availability of products, I now realized that right from when I was young, I always had this sales inclination, but I did not have a label for it, right? So I've always knew that okay, you know what, I needed to push something out and give something in exchange for value, or give value out in exchange for money, but I didn't know what to call it, and then it's not limited to the sales function. I must warn you, it's not limited to the sales function. A lot of people can give value in other places in exchange for money. Doctors give value in exchange for money, and they give it in form of healthcare, service, in form of taking care of the sick and all that. I'm not trying to dispute that, but I'm just trying to say that when it comes to things I've been exposed to growing up, trade and all that, I realized that this is something I've always wanted to do. This is something that I am comfortable doing. I am very comfortable exchanging value for money. I'm very comfortable telling people why they should buy these products, why they should part with their money, why they should give me their money to give them these products, why they need my products, why they need my service. I remember when I was offering a service in school just to keep body and soul together, I had a reason why you needed my service. I would always tell my friends, oh, come and shave your brows, come and fix your nails, because I knew that I had to sell this to them and they needed to part with their money. So I will always tell them, oh, your nails are not looking good, how will you go out on a date and your nails will not be looking nice, but how will you call yourself a lady and your brows are not groomed, things like that. So I already understood that I needed to sell value for money, but I didn't know what it was. So personally, I would say in knowing what career is best for you, there are a lot of factors involved. Academic background is a factor, your family background is a factor, the things you are exposed to growing up is a factor, the schools you went to, the subjects you were taught, the kind of people that you found yourself amongst even after you've left school is a factor. But personally, in my journey, knowing what career is best for me has been something that I grew into. So I came out of school thinking, oh, you know what, as somebody that read English and literature, the best thing that could happen to me was probably become an assistant in one organization, or become an executive assistant, or become an administrative operations assistant, or work in some ministry, or find myself in the media industry, of which to be a full journalist or a newscaster, you still have to go and do 1 or 2 courses in journalism or in media management or something. I didn't feel like what I had read was enough for me to thrive in society, so to say. But I found that in my journey, I discovered that I was enough. I discovered that it's not by what I read, it's by knowing what you have and having what it takes. So there's some people that even read business management in school but wouldn't be good sales managers. You agree with me, right? Some people that read accounting, in school or whatever, and they wouldn't even be good accountants or good business managers, basically. And sales for me has been a very big gateway to entrepreneurship. It has taught me resilience, it has taught me consistency, it has taught me doggedness, it has taught me organization and planning, very important. It has taught me forecasting, it has taught me strategy, it has taught me customer management, customer development, trade development, customer relationship management. It has taught me a lot, and those are the things that I am comfortable doing. Like, I am not scared of customer confrontation, no matter how bad the customer is, right? As long as we keep it professional. If we do not close today, we'll close tomorrow. Do you understand? So I am not scared of the sales environment. I'm not scared of the entrepreneurship environment, and that is how I knew that that was the career that was right for me. So when it comes to brand projection, marketing products, ensuring that we achieve business objectives, I am not scared to project these things to customers, because I know that in doing this, I'm also equipping and developing myself for my own business, as I am. So it is by the value I'm bringing to the table for the company I represent, and also the value that I am taking away in terms of self-development that it cannot be bought in any school. So for me, that's what it is. That's how I knew that, my career in sales, my career as a salesperson, my career around brand development, distribution, management, anything that has to do with giving value to collect money, giving value in exchange for something. Do you understand? Because even in the sales function, in some companies, it's called the sales and marketing function. You find that sales and marketing, they work hand in hand. So if you say, oh, but salespeople are the ones that push the product or the service out, while the marketing are the ones that just develop the ideas with which the salesperson makes their sale, well, it is still giving value, right? Because if they do not produce and bring out advertisements or campaigns that are valuable, then how will it resonate with the customer? Do you understand? So that's how I knew that, this sales, marketing, sales function, entrepreneurship, can you see I'm already calling a lot of things, because that's the kind of person I am. Thing is for me, guys, I said let's talk, and I've been doing all the talking. So I would like you to drop your own comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think, let me know what you feel, let me know whether you agree or you disagree. Let me hear your own story, and I will see you in the next video. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Catch you later. Bye.